Police reveal new details about their investigation into a double murder. Why they say they immediately suspected the victim's daughter.
A Facebook video leads police to a party where they say they found teens drinking in the presence of 2 school employees.
We're tracking the search for a jetliner that disappeared while in the middle of a flight.
This WKYT News at 5.
Police are explaining why their investigation into a double murder case immediately led them to the victim's daughter.
The information came out during a hearing for Lynette McQuinn this morning in Owsley County. State police say she killed her parents at their home on May 6th. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy shows us what else police told the court in our top story at 5.
A detective revealed new details Thursday about the murder of an elderly couple in their home near Boonville. State police say Robert and Ada McQuinn's daughter Lynette shot and killed them, and that their other child found their bodies.
It's really hard, when something like this happens with 2 community members, especially when it's someone like, Robert that, everybody knows and likes.
Teresa Barrett listened to investigators' findings. They went into detail about the deaths, saying they immediately thought Lynette killed her parents because she had a history of mental illness and had threatened to kill them before. A detective told the judge one of Robert McQuinn's last texts said Lynette was at their house. He also revealed they found blood on Lynette's pants.
He was just really a good guy. Everybody I knew really liked him.
Lynette McQuinn's case now goes to a grand jury. Barrett and others miss their friend.
Really outspoken, really friendly, really good guy. And I know it just has to really hurt, especially the people around him.
Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
McQuinn is in jail on a $1 million bond. The judge denied a request to lower it because the Commonwealth's attorney thinks that McQuinn will run if free.
The Magoffin County School Superintendent says some employees will soon be out of a job after a party. State police say they found several drunk teenagers at Wendell King's home last night. King, a district staff member, Durrell Peters, a high school teacher, and a third adult were all arrested. Victor Puente shows us the role of Facebook video played in this case.
Kentucky State Police have charged 3 adults with providing alcohol to minors. 2 of the people charged work for the Magoffin County school system. Kentucky State Police say they went to the home of Wendell King after they were alerted to this video posted on Facebook showing a party with juveniles. According to King's arrest citation, troopers saw teenage girls outside the home. Those girls ran inside as police approached. Police say they could see liquor bottles through the window, and when they went inside, they found 5 teens under the influence of alcohol. They say 2 of those teens were sent to the emergency room because they were so intoxicated. They also say they found King undressed and passed out in the master bedroom. They arrested him, Leah Van Hoos, and Durrell Peters. The school system confirms Peters is a carpentry teacher at their technical school. They also say Wendell King is a maintenance worker for the school system. All 3 are charged with unlawful transaction with a minor. The school superintendent says after talking to several board members, they plan to fire Peters and King, but that won't officially happen until tomorrow.
Your heart sinks. I mean, you sit there thinking, how can somebody be so foolish and don't care about people, children? I mean, I've been in education 37 years. I still cry over children.
Holbrook said this is the 2nd case state police are investigating involving one of his teachers in the past week. Troopers tell me they have an open investigation regarding some inappropriate text messages between a teacher and student. So far, that teacher's name hasn't been released because there haven't been charges, but they have been suspended. In Magoffin County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
State police say the Department of Social Services was notified and the juveniles were released to their parents.
A report reveals some new information about what happened as firefighters recovered the body of a hiker. Katie Stewart fell to her death at Raven Run Nature Sanctuary in Fayette County in March. The boat firefighters used to carry her body capsized during the recovery. WKYT's Monique Blair is live in Lexington, where firefighters talked about the report's findings just this afternoon. Monique?
Well, Amber, the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife just released this report today saying that on March 19th, the reason a Lexington Fire Department rescue boat capsized after making a recovery was because it was too heavy. Now, the Lexington, after firefighters determined the hiker they were sent to rescue was already deceased, they felt the safest way to recover her body was by rescue boat. 2 boats, each with 4 people on them, went to recover the body of Katie Stewart, who fell while hiking at Raven Run. After the recovery, 2 additional firefighters plus the victim's body were added to one of the rescue boats. At that point, the boat was holding 7 people. According to the report, the boats have a maximum capacity of 6 people or 800 pounds. The report goes on to say that because the boat was holding 7 people plus all of the equipment, it was too heavy. Assistant Fire Chief Harold Hoskins says the firefighters involved in this incident will not face a punishment.
And we never want to make the same mistakes again. We want to learn from our mistakes. We want to learn from our successes. So yeah, we'll incorporate into that our future training and operations.
Now, I'm told Lexington firefighters are trained each year on that rescue equipment. And in addition to that, each time someone is rescued by boat, it is mandatory that they wear a life jacket. Reporting live in Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you. Lexington's Division of Risk Management released their own report a few weeks ago. It recommended upgrading to a radio system for the entire Parks Department. They currently use cell phones.
Search teams looking for Egypt Air Flight 804 have found debris in the Mediterranean Sea, but it's not clear if it's the plane's wreckage. The plane was traveling from Paris to Cairo when it vanished from radar this morning. 66 people were on board. Tina Kraus is tracking the search for clues about what happened.
Family members flew the same route from Paris to Cairo to get the latest on the missing passengers of Egypt Air Flight 804. Egyptian authorities say floating debris, including life jackets, has been found near Carpathos Island in the Mediterranean Sea. Ship captain Tarek Waba posted photos online that show objects in the water, but Greek authorities claim debris found so far does not belong to the aircraft. Egypt's aviation minister suspects terrorism, but experts say it's too soon to reach that conclusion.
Could it have been pilot issues? Could it have been mechanical failure? Could it have been a bomb? All of these things will be revealed when we finally are able to find the aircraft itself.
The flight was headed to Cairo from Paris. It had 56 passengers and 10 crew members on board. Greece's defense minister says the plane was flying at 37,000 feet when it suddenly dropped and turned sharply before disappearing from radar. Mervat Monir says her niece was a flight attendant on the jetliner who'd just gotten married. We still have hope, she says. The FBI is helping in the investigation, and the U.S. Navy is sending planes to help with the search.
Relevant authorities are doing everything they can to try to find out what the facts are of what happened today.
France is also taking part in the investigation. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
The plane's manifest shows no Americans were on board. Back here in Kentucky, if you have not had a chance yet, please go outside and enjoy this dry weather because our brief break from the rain is not going to last much longer.
Yeah, we're stuck here, so go enjoy it for us. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here now with what is going to be a wet end of the week forecast for us.
Yeah, it really is. But, you know, if you've been watching us for the past week, you knew we were going to get this one day and then go back into that pattern for another little rainy spell for at least a couple of days. Let's talk about the good stuff. Look at the sky that is out there. Sunshine showing off across central and eastern Kentucky. Upper 60s right now in Lexington with a hint of some clouds out there. But we look at the rest of the region. Notice how Frankfort to Covington, we're into the low 70s now where we're getting a little more sunshine. And then you've got southeastern Kentucky with low 70s. What's going on in between? Well, let's fire up your Defender radar network. Oh, yeah, a little bank of some high clouds out there. Just a little bit of cloud cover can keep temperatures down a few degrees compared to your neighbors on either side of you dealing with some sunshine. High pressure across the Great Lakes. Thank you. You gave us at least the one nice day. Low pressure. Yep, here we go again. Coming out of Texas. That'll make a beeline toward Kentucky as we go into the day tomorrow. So your weather headlines, heavy rains coming in later Friday. Saturday showers slowly will end, and then I track a much better weather pattern that sets up shop for the final full week of May. That's hard to believe, guys, getting into the days leading up to Memorial Day weekend when I come back in a few minutes.
A portion of US 25 is now officially the Officer Daniel Ellis Memorial Highway. City and state officials joined law enforcement and Officer Ellis's family to unveil the sign at a ceremony outside the Richmond Police Department this afternoon. Ellis's wife, Katie, says it will be special driving by and seeing that sign. She says it will be a good way for their young son, Luke, to remember his father's sacrifice.
Whether it's riding on the school bus, telling a second grader, you know, that's the road named after my dad, or maybe someday when he has a fiance or a child and he can come back and explain to them who his dad was and, you know, what he did for Richmond and just what a good man he was. It'll be really special to have a place to go.
The General Assembly approved a resolution during its regular session to name the highway after Officer Ellis.
Deputies say that 3 teenagers broke into a string of concession stands because they were bored. Deputies arrested the 15, 16, and 17-year-olds after receiving a tip about the break-ins on Facebook. The sheriff's office says the teenagers hit concessions at 2 little leagues as well as North Laurel Middle and high schools. The teenagers are charged with burglary, theft, and criminal mischief. Legendary CBS newsman Morley Safer has died. Safer just announced his retirement from CBS News a week ago. He worked for CBS for 52 years and spent 46 seasons as a 60 Minutes correspondent. The executive producer for 60 Minutes, Jeff Fagers, says that journalism wouldn't be the same without Morley Safer.
His life at 60 Minutes, his life at CBS News had such an impact on all of us and how we cover stories and the kind of stories he covered and the most incredible body of work.
Safer was a gifted writer. 60 Minutes aired a tribute to him just last week. No cause of death has been released, but Fagers says they knew Safer's physical health was failing. He was 84. The jury has found a movie theater owner is not responsible for a deadly shooting rampage. James Holmes shot and killed 12 people at a Cinemark theater in Aurora, Colorado in July of 2012. Some survivors and family of the victim sued, saying Cinemark should have had more security. 6 jurors concluded Cinemark could not have prevented the attack.
Democrats have started calling for unity ahead of the general election. The race for the Democratic presidential nomination has turned into a battle, with Hillary Clinton winning a narrow victory in Kentucky Tuesday night. Clinton says she will be the Democratic nominee, but opponent Bernie Sanders has vowed to fight until the final votes are cast. Democrats say the party needs to come together to defeat presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump this fall.
We've had 13 million votes cast for Hillary Clinton and 10 million for Bernie Sanders. It's time those 23 million come together and convince the rest of the country to follow suit.
Clinton leads the overall delegate count by more than 700. California is the biggest prize in the remaining primaries.
A school is being transformed to help students across the state learn financial literacy. Junior Achievement of the Bluegrass and Fayette County Public Schools have teamed up to build the J.A. BizTown at the old Lindley Elementary School. And once the project is complete, the students will get a chance to learn everything from bank transactions to paying taxes.
Just understanding what the opportunities are for them later in life and what the tie between education and what they're doing now to being successful later in life and being able to do what they want to do.
And the project should be complete sometime in the fall.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. If you're one of the millions of people who have plans to fly somewhere this summer, make sure you pack your patience. Long lines at security checkpoints have been plaguing travelers across the nation. As Chris Van Cleve shows us, the TSA told reporters today it does have a plan to speed up security checks.
Enormous security lines are ratcheting up the pressure on the Transportation Security Administration. Now the TSA is shifting some of the responsibility to travelers.
We are not here today to blame this on passengers, but this is one contributing factor to the lines being longer.
Officers staged a unscientific show and tell at Chicago's hard-hit Midway Airport to illustrate how prohibited items like water bottles and knives back up the lines.
It holds all of the rest of those bags that are on that queue from proceeding through.
The TSA says much bigger issues than those prohibited items are their staffing crunch and just the sheer volume of travelers packing the checkpoints.
Nationwide, an average of 7% more passengers from last year to this year, and in some of those larger airports, up to 15% more.
To handle the crowds, the agency is hiring an extra 768 screeners over the next month, also shifting more canine units to larger airports and bumping up part-time workers to full-time. Passengers can only hope those steps will alleviate lines like this one at Midway.
I think it's a problem. I came 3 hours early to make sure I got my flight.
If the crowds are bad now, wait until the summer, when travel is expected to hit new records. That includes the upcoming Memorial Day weekend, which could be the busiest ever. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Chicago.
One factor contributing to the crowds may be the lower cost of travel. The drop in fuel prices has kept down ticket prices just in time for summer holidays. If you're looking for healthy food, seeing the word natural on the packaging might catch your attention. You should not let the word, though, fool you, because it doesn't always guarantee what you're eating is good for you. There are plenty of natural foods that aren't necessarily healthy for us, like sugar. Dietitians say reading labels is key to making sure you're getting something good for you.
It really is about being a smart consumer. Number one, if there's ingredients in that product that wouldn't have been on your grandmother's pantry and definitely not on yours, chances are it might not be very natural.
The Food and Drug Administration has yet to define the word natural on food labels. The agency recently finished collecting input on a definition and is expected to issue rules soon.